Mrs. Saah got things are so pretty round this time of year.
Tribe, hello, my family here in cyberspace. It literally took the energy of 488 people to bring me back to the channel today. And I don't take that lightly because there's power in that. I wonder if you guys understand how powerful you hitting that subscribe button really is. Do you understand the power in that? That the power in you hitting the subscribe button. The power in being able to decide what creator grows. You guys decide that. Not only do you guys decide what creator grows, but you decide what creator gets their voice heard and by however many, right? You guys decide that. But outside of that, there's a spiritual aspect that I want to tap into for just a brief moment. Because I said it took me the energy of 488 people to come back and hit the play button, okay? It literally took the energy of 488 people to get me to hit the play button. It took the energy of Tammy in the comments saying, Elder, how are you? Is I'm going to answer all of my tribe's messages. And I hope you guys understand why I was away for a long time, or for what, 10 days or so? Hope you guys understand it. And I'm so happy that you guys are still here. Because you don't have to be. You could have decided to go ahead and unsubscribe, but you're still here with me, and I honor that. So thank you. From our sister Tammy. Hi Tammy. We love you lots. Tammy, you had two questions. The first question, you said, "Hi Elder, how are you?" I am doing much better now that I'm talking to you guys. Thank you. Doing much better. And you said, "I love you." Listen, you said, "Love you." I don't know if you guys understand how important it is for human beings to hear the words "I love you," especially if your native tongue is English. Okay, in Western culture, it's important for people to hear the words "I love you," whether it comes from a mother, a sibling, a husband, a boyfriend, you know, your sister, your brother, a friend. Hearing the words "I love you," the cells in the body feel that, and they are responding. So you can change someone's energy just by saying, "I love you." You can say, "I love you" to a plant and change the vibration, and the plant feels that. So it's an energy. So thank you. I love you back, Mama. Okay? So Tammy's question was, she wants to know the candy ritual, okay? And then she also wants to know what was the red string that was tied around Asana. Let's start first by understanding that even this book, this new book that's coming out, oh my gosh, it's so good. My editor said it's amazing. She literally was like, woo, on some of the chapters that involved a lot of the sacred arts of femininity. And I really wanted to do it in such a way that we honor the sacred arts of femininity in a way that the information is not, on the internet you can Google anything, right? But there needed to be some secrets, some ancient secrets that we shared that for people who really wanted to do the work. And so my editor shared that it was fantastic, and I can't wait for you guys to hear it. I decided today that it's okay for me to let the book go and start the ads and all that. So I believe I'm going to do it on Thursday. Not really sure energetically if that's the right date, but I'll know that, and you guys will see the video here on YouTube, okay? So, the red string, Tammy, the red string that was tied around Asana. First, let's understand that this is hut wisdom. We're going back to the huts. with this information. These are the ancient secrets of femininity, okay? The secrets that not many women knew. So you had to go to training to kind of get this. Now, we're not talking about finishing schools, okay? That's what the finishing school is what the Brown Girls Book of Etiquette is for. Okay, that's my book, the Brown Girls Book of Etiquette. But that's what that's for. This is um, more in line of esoteric, you know, metaphysics, things that we can't see. What is it about a woman that makes her special? In learning how to use everyday things to be symbolic in one way, to be transformative in another, hence herbs and oils and all of that stuff, okay? But in this case, when Elder Eden used the red rope, okay, what that was to signify, okay, is that was to signify the that everything must be harmonious, okay? That everything that Asana did must not only, it must be in harmony. There must be balance, okay? And the way the elder put it was more so not just the red stream that was symbolic to the energy of harmony, okay? Being vibrant and red is a color. This red lipstick is a frequency, okay? So the red string that she tied on Asana was a frequency. It was symbolic to a frequency that Asana was now possessing, okay? That Asana was no longer here, but now Asana was here. And now that she's here, there's a sense of balance that she's been able to maintain. In our culture, we call it ascension maintain, okay? uh, Ascension, meaning to be able to go up and to keep going up, but to be able to maintain momentum. So Asana was on this feminine journey that she was able to maintain. She didn't break, she didn't fold, she didn't stop. She was consistent, and so that red string that was tied is symbolic to the continuation of harmony. Okay, the connection. Ooh, that scared me. That was the speaker guy. Sorry, the connection of all things being connected energetically, okay? Both masculine and feminine being connected. Asana understanding the importance of both masculine and feminine being connected, and Asana being able to maintain that, okay? And I'm doing this for a reason, because this is the way Elder Eden did it, okay? She was explaining to Asana, okay? And I say this, I don't know if it connects to you at all, but when I say that relationships must be reciprocal, what you pour out. Elder Eden taught that relationships must be reciprocal. And when the relationship is not reciprocal, okay, meaning what you are pouring out, you are getting back. What you're pouring out, you are getting back. The energy must be reciprocal, okay? And if we can put the reciprocal energy not up here, that would be fantastic so they can get it visually. But the energy must be reciprocal. So when Elder Eden tied the knot on Asana and she tied it, it was the way she tied it to symbolize the continuation of energy. Okay, so that whole that whole ritual there was symbolic to where Asana was in her femininity, and how studious she was, how great of a student she was. She's been able to maintain that, and it's also representing that her ability to move in unison with the masculine. Okay, she's able to move in unison with the masculine, and she understands that the moment is not reciprocal, that she must pipe out. Okay, you cannot be in a relationship that is one way. At some point, someone will become bitter and angry and upset and unfulfilled, and that is not going to be a very healthy relationship. Not alone is it going to be good for anybody body involved in that. It's going to be quite traumatic. So to save yourself from those traumatic experiences, you got to be very conscious of what you are putting yourself in, what you are in, and how much you can contribute to the health of that thing. Well, when Asana got the rope tied around her, Elder Eden was very well aware that Asana not only knew how to do that, how to move in unison with the masculine, okay? And also not just to move in unison with the masculine, but to understand her importance and her role in moving with the masculine. The importance of understanding your role in moving with the masculine is just as important as you being able to do it, okay? So just being able to do it is one thing, but understanding the importance of doing it is something else. And that was Elder Eden's way of that ritual was to recognize all of that, okay? And the other thing I want you guys to understand too is that A lot of the secrets that I put in here, especially in this last one that's coming out, a lot of the femininity secrets, we're so far removed from that now here in the West. So it's going to take a little bit of training. It's going to take a little bit of undoing for you to really kind of understand that as an African people, most of what we did was symbolic. Whenever we do something, it's symbolic. When we don't tell people we're traveling, it's symbolic. When we, those things are symbolic because everything breaks down to basic to symbols, right? Everything breaks down to symbols. Everything breaks down to symbols. What does it mean? Because things must mean something, it must be connected to some sort of symbol. It must be some sort of connection there. So that not only do we see it visually, okay? Because if we see the reminder, then we are reminded that we are that thing, okay? And even just when we're wearing a ring, that circle, that whole idea, it's symbolic. It means something. You don't just get a ring because you get a ring. You get a ring because it represents something. So I hope that makes sense. Tammy, hear me. Are you ready? Tammy, are you listening? We're going deep. Okay. Asana invited a hopeful lover. Oh, listen, Elden Eden is the bomb, okay? Here we go, Tammy. You ready? Now I wish we were doing this in an actual class. So I'm gonna give you a bit and you're gonna have to do some research, okay? Not only are you gonna have to do some research, but you're gonna have to be a real student here. So listen up, darling. Asana invited a hopeful lover to her home. She ushered him into her altar. In real life, if you can't come to my altar, you and I cannot make love. This is Karima speaking, okay? If you can't come to my altar, you and in real life, if you can't come to my altar, you and I cannot make love. Yes, Lord. Okay? We're going to go deep here, Tammy. This is the candle ritual. Make sure you are listening. You're piped in. We're going to go deep. You ready? Let's go. Asana invited a hopeful lover to her home. She ushered him in to her altar because we understand that sex is not just the physical act of happening, although it is like that here in the West, but that it can be used for various things, right? But to bring a hopeful lover to your altar, to pray before you guys even engage, to have that energy wrapped around the lovemaking before you actually do the act is some of the best thing you could ever do. All right? You want to make love to me? Meet me at my altar, okay? Where we can pray together and cover each other and all that stuff, okay? And anoint each other. And we will learn some other stuff later, okay? Especially in book 2. Oh, Lord, okay? But look, it says, there the music was in line with moods from a Zen-like garden, darling. Okay? A Zen-like yoga retreat, excuse me. I forgot we changed it from garden to yoga retreat. The smell of jasmine, okay, any langy lang was in the air, and the red, pink, and white candles flickered 10 separate flames. Asana began chanting. She took a deep breath in. Hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it, hold it. She took a deep breath in, okay? And her hands were placed on her belly, and she leaned forward in a trance-like state. Her hopeful lover enjoyed watching her. He was curious, okay, and entangled in her mystery. He closed his eyes to give thanks. A sweet and gentle kiss from Asana widened his eyes as she used her tongue to delicately place a saffron strand in his mouth. This is real life stuff here, okay? All right? Asana, I want to walk it back to the candles, Tammy. Asana used her tongue, okay? And I don't want to do the action here, okay? But I wish I could show you. But I don't want to do the action because I don't want to disrespect my sweetheart, okay? However, The action of placing the saffron strand on his tongue. She placed it with her tongue. She didn't take her hand, okay? Right? She didn't take her hand. It says she used her tongue to delicately place a saffron strand on his tongue. So she used her tongue to place the saffron strand on his tongue. Why the saffron strand? Well, according to Elder Eden's tradition, the saffron strand is an aphrodisiac, okay? And not only is it an aphrodisiac, but it helps to produce or to help the hypothalamus produce. Um, oh, we about to go deep. Tammy, why you ask this question? This is we need an actual class, not just YouTube, okay? We need an actual class. What Elder Eden is teaching the woman to do when she tells her to put the saffron strand on your lover's tongue is so that endorphins can be running through his bloodstream, okay? So he's already feeling good. So he's not just aroused down there, because down there anybody can do that. Any woman can arouse a man down there. All she got to do is just shake a little boo boo, okay? Or shake a little something something, okay? She can arouse a man. But Elder Eden said arousing a man just down there, that's for regular women. Women like Asana going to first arouse a man here, okay? Elder Eden said the saffron strand is not just going to sit on the tongue, okay? But it's going to activate the pineal gland, okay? Which is a small pea-sized gland sitting right between the middle of your eyes. It's actually light sensitive. It's a pea-sized gland that sits right in the middle of the two hemispheres of the brain, which will be the middle, okay? And it's light sensitive, hence why people say there's a third eye, or they say this space here in the middle of your forehead is a third eye. Hence why a man who kisses a woman on her third eye is truly admiring her. It's a very sacred kiss, according to Elder Eden, for a man to kiss a woman right here, brothers. I just taught you something. It's also in the last book that's coming. But when a brother kisses a woman here, he also does the same thing the saffron strand does to the man. When the woman places the saffron strand on the man's tongue, she is activating his third eye, sending endorphins through his entire body. So the arousal is not just happening down there, it's happening throughout his entire body. The hairs on his arm begin to stand up. He's connected to his higher self because the pineal gland or the third eye is now activated, okay? If you split the brain right down the middle, inside there will be like it looks like a little hole or cavity, right? You'll find a little small pea-sized gland there called the pineal gland, okay? So she activates that by placing that on his tongue. So not only did she arouse him for so that he can have a full body orgasm, okay? Ooh, Elden Eden went deep. Oh yeah. So he can have a full body orgasm, and so that she's just not activating his his um, his hen and M, okay? She's not just activating his hen and M, but she is giving him or preparing him for a full body orgasm that is connected to his third eye. There's a spiritual happening here. So when he had trouble finding another woman quite like Asana, it was because every other woman was able to activate down there, but they were not able to give him a full body orgasm that Asana was trained to do. She didn't just give him a full body orgasm by just getting on him and doing her little thing. No, she prepared him. She ushered him to her altar, okay, while the flames were burning. And what color were the flames? Here is Tammy's question. The flames, red, pink, and white. The white is purity. Asana is a pure woman, okay? You can't just be any man getting Asana. You can't be any Tom, Dick, and Harry, approaching Asana's gates, right? You can't just be anybody. So the white symbolized the purity of the woman, okay? The pink, hoo, 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 hoo. The pink, that is the femininity. She's expressing her femininity, right? But it's not also just her femininity, but it's symbolic to where he's about to go. He is about to go. He's about to go and experience the beauty and the purity of her heavenly gates. Okay? And then the red, that is symbolic to the heart being connected. Okay? So we have the purity of Asana and the white. We have the pink, which is symbolic to where he's about to travel to, if you understand what I'm saying without me actually saying it. We call it the chatette. Okay? We call it the chatette, but here in the West we call it something else. I don't want you to deflect me, but I think you understand what I'm saying. Where he's about to go. You got to get through the gates, right? So she's pure, he's where he's about to go, and also what he's about to experience. Okay, that energetic heart feeling. So I hope you guys understand it, but that's a good one, Tammy. I'm so happy you asked that question. That's a deep one. And there's so many other jewels hidden in the readings, not just in this one, but also in the one that's coming, that you guys really have to be a student to find the gems because not only can you learn a lot from it, okay, but it'll give you a deeper meaning to relationships and love making and understanding. If you understand that you don't just want to wake up a man's hen and them, okay, if you know what I'm saying, you don't just want to awaken that because he can watch porn and get that. He can watch a girl on MTV and she can do that. He can watch a girl on Instagram, on TikTok. Anybody can do that down there. But only a trained woman in the feminine arts, the feminine art of asanahood knows that in order to captivate and to capture the man you want to capture, you have to awaken here first, the entire body second, and then down there. So this was your Asana Hood training because I believe this is the first time we went as deep as we went when it comes to Asana Hood here. I'm going to read it to you one more time so you can really get it, okay? For those of you who don't have your books, go ahead and pop it right there, okay? Asana invited a hopeful lover to a home. And when I say hopeful, he wanted to engage with her. He wanted to be with her. He wanted to experience her. Okay? He wanted to experience her, but not only did he want to experience her, she also wanted to experience him. And I don't want to give up too much information about that, okay? But she invited him to her home. Now, why would she do that? Why would she not go to his home? Well, in African traditions, most likely the man is going to bring you to him, right? But in this case, we're talking about Asana. And she needed to get him to her altar. So she invited the hopeful lover to her home. She ushered him to her altar. There, the music was in line with moves coming from a Zen-like yoga retreat. The smell of jasmine and ylang ylang was in the air, and the red, pink, and white candles flickered 10 flickered flames. Asana began chanting. She took a deep breath in. Her hands were on her belly. She leaned forward in a trance-like state. Okay? Her hopeful lover enjoyed watching her. He was curious and entangled in the mystery. Okay? He never had this kind of woman before. And he closed his eyes because he was now being transported, okay? But he wasn't fully transported just yet. Because then Asana hit him with the badang dang. What did she do? She took her tongue and put the saffron strand on his. I don't know if we can put the name of So Sensual. I love that name. So Sensual. The question that So Sensual has is, she says, "Hi Karima, you have a great channel. I've been following you from South Africa." South Africa! Hi, love. I'll see you. I'll see you someday soon. I believe I have a trip to South Africa coming up. I don't know if it's in 2023, but I have a trip coming up. Maybe I'll see you in South Africa. Who knows? Hi, Karima. You have a great channel. I've been following you from South Africa. Her name is Soul Sensual, okay? She says, "I would like to find out. There's this guy I'm dating. He's called me with his recent ex name twice. Does that mean he's not over her, or is it my imagination?" Well, you're here with your elder in chief, Karima McGee, here on this channel. And darling, hear me. The key thing that sticks out more than anything is that you said recent. Okay? Now, I want you to also keep in mind, I'm more logical than I am emotional as it comes to being able to understand information, okay? And information. In this case, you said recent. That leads me to believe that prior to you guys getting or connecting, that he was connected to this other person, okay? Energetically, we are connected to the people we connect with, okay? So, if he was recently connected to someone else before he connected to you, understand that he is now connected to both you guys. A lot of women don't like to hear that because they want the other woman to be completely disconnected. They want to erase her as if she never happened. They want her to go away because they believe that, that now I'm here. So now I'm here and you've got to completely forget about her. She must go. That's a natural feminine wanting because women are very territorial. Even in sister wives relationships or relationships where there's more than one wife, they're not always as hunky dory as people let it on because women are still women, okay? There's going to be the jealous part that comes up every once in a while and all of those things, right? It's natural, it's normal. So I completely understanding you wanting to have her completely gone, not just out of his mouth, because he said it with his mouth, which is extremely important. And this is where I'm going with this, okay? But out of his consciousness, okay? Out of his sense of awareness, out of, you want that line to be cut because now you are present. But here's what I want women to understand is that every person that you connect with, you're still connected with. Unless, unless you spiritually cut the ties. Same thing for men. They're still connected to each person they connect with. So you see, there's a lot of men who say, I just want to have sex, and men have sex, and we have sex because we're not really connected to the women. We're just having this thing. But there is still a connection when you insert yourself into a woman, okay? You are giving her a piece of you, right? But you are also making a withdrawal. So in this piece, okay, we have two parts that we want to look at. One is that he said it with his mouth while looking at you, which means she's still in his consciousness. And no, it is not your imagination. It is not your imagination. Not only did your intuition pick up on it, and I'm sure it had, okay, but your intellect had you able to see it for what it was. But there's something in you that wants him to not have ever said that. And so now you question or doubt by saying, is it my imagination? It's not your imagination, darling. Trust yourself. Hear me. Trust yourself. I kind of want to I want to bring you in, and I kind of just want to bring you in. I want to bring you in as like a daughter, and I want to say, it is not your imagination at all. I want to tell you that. It's not your imagination at all. So then what? If it's not your imagination, now what do you do with the information of being called the other woman? Well, you decide. Didn't I say that on a few videos? You always get to decide. You get to decide. Not him. You. One of three things. You can act as if it's oblivious and just pass it off. You can torture him by bringing it up every 5 minutes. Why did you call me her? 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 And still never make an actionable item happen, right? So torturing him, but still staying in the relationship or still going on with it, but torturing him while in it, which is causing pain not just for him, but also for you by rehashing it over and over. Or you can take the third option, which is to allow him some time to disconnect. Okay? If he wants to be with you, you can simply say it with your mouth. Are you still in love with her? I see that you are still in love. Because it didn't happen just once, it happened twice. What I want to do is I want to give you some space to heal, seeing as though you recently came out of one relationship and into another. Give him some time to heal. And men don't heal like we heal. I mean, to disconnect. When I say heal, as I'm when we're talking about men, okay? Give him some time to disconnect that. And when I say to disconnect that, the brother has to be knowledgeable enough to know that disconnection is necessary, okay? Because if not, we are always constantly connected to those that we encountered, especially if we've made love to them. Okay? We made love to them, spent time with them. And I don't want you to get too wrapped up on the girl per se. And I try to tell women this, going to our Facebook, going to his Facebook, connecting the dots, all of that is wasting time. And women who are resting in their femininity, they don't need to do all of that, okay? Rest in just being a woman and rest in being right. When you are the right woman, he comes for you. Let him, let him come for you, darling. And it is completely okay to relax in your feminine and allow him to come for you. A man who wants you, I tell you, you will never ever hear from his lips the name of another woman. And sometimes they say, "Oh, it was a mistake. It's a Freudian slip." Okay, she's still present in your subconscious mind. She's very present in your subconscious mind. She's very present, and when a woman is very present, sometimes that's a very difficult thing to compete with. And I'm not into competing, but then again, I'm a Leo. Okay, and then again, I'm full of ego. She got a big ego. I don't compete with women. I don't compete with women. I don't compete. If you love me, you love me. Let's great. Let's have a fantastic rendezvous. Let's have a fantastic love affair. Let's have a fantastic time loving each other. Okay, with respect and integrity and adoration and all of those things, right? But if another woman is present in your subconscious mind, I can't deal with that. But we're all different. Find out where you are and what you can deal with. Pick one from the three. You could either suck it up as if it never happened and move on. All right. You can torture him every day by repeating the same thing. Why did you call her name? And not only are you torturing him by rehashing it, but you're also torturing yourself by wondering, why did he say it? Why did he say it? Does he still love it? Don't get connected to that. That is not your thing. All right. Well, the third thing is you could allow him some time to recover, to repair, realign, and then have him come for you. All right? So that there's no other woman name that comes out of his mouth but yours. That's the kind of thing I'm into. Say Karima, 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 Karima. Say it as many times as you can. But the moment you call me Nikki, we got a problem, okay? Let's go on to our next question. So our next question is from Perp O, okay? Hi, Perp. Perp says she wants to know a little bit more about the maiden. Okay, let's talk about the maiden quickly, okay? Um, the maiden is that is your youth. Okay, that's when you are a young girl, when you are a teenager that's your maiden years. Okay, you're green to the rest of the world. You're figuring yourself out. You're trying to find your place in the world and all of that, okay? The maiden years are extremely important because your maiden years is is going to determine what kind of love life you set up for yourself, okay? Now hear me and hear me good. A lot of people here in the West teach that your maiden years are not just about finding out who you are. No, it's about finding out who you are, right? Here in the West, it's more about finding out who you are and then setting yourself up for a career and so forth, and then having a lot of fun. So here in the West, your maiden years are normally full with a lot of fun, a lot of extracurricular activities, enjoying life, and going to school and to developing a career. And then once you're done with all of that, then here in the West, most likely you're probably um, you're in your mother phase before you start looking to date seriously. Okay, but in from Elder Eden's perspective, it's a little bit different. The maiden years is about finding out who you are as a young girl, what your likes are, okay? And then also what you want for the rest of your life. This is the most important time of your life because now what I don't want to say that the other phrases are not, they're just different, okay? So hear me. The maiden phase of your life, your young years, find out and identify what you want for the rest of your life. You don't get to 40 to decide what you want to do from 40 and onward, although a lot of us do. And sometimes it changes, okay, according to life circumstances. But you take your maiden years to decide what kind of life you want to be, you want to have. When I was 19, I knew I wanted to be an alternative medicine. That helps you. I'll see you guys on the next upload. Until next time, be empowered, be inspired, and be well.